Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live with independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States, and I am very happy you are here. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's see. This is the last week of the Buy one, get one 50% off sweets and sweet products. There are quite a few things that, well, I shouldn't say quite. There are a few things that are out of stock. So be sure to hurry on over to my online store and pick up your BOGO items while you can. That sale ends on June 30th. So you'll want to make sure that you take a look right away to see what still is available and what it is that you would like. Remember that those items are buy one at the highest price and get the lowest priced item at 50% off. So be sure to group your bundles together, your sweets together, your like items together on separate orders. Okay? All right, so let's see who we have on. And then we'll get this party started. Yay, that worked right away first time. Good deal. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining. Hope you had a great week. A pretty good day today. Did a little shopping. Did a little deck buying stuff. Yeah. Had a good time with the grandkids. Hello, Jennifer. And I still managed to get 2 projects together for you for tonight. It's going to be a busy summer, and we're going to play this day by day to see how things go. So, I'm not sure I will be on Thursday, but we'll see how that goes because I have kids overnight again tonight. I've had them 2 nights already, and so I've got them again tonight, and then Susie will have a day off, and then I have doctor's appointment on Friday. Well, actually dentist, but same thing. It's a busy week. All right, so we're going to be using Poppin By today, and this is an 8-piece cling stamp set, which means that it's red rubber, and the cling is the cling mount to the clear blocks. And then it has coordinating dies, and there are 10 of those. So these pieces can work independently of each other or together. And then we have these 3 pieces as well. Okay. And there's one missing from here because I have some paper in it and I didn't want the paper to drop out and get lost. So, all right. So this is what we're using tonight. Let's see, it's 7:05. We're going to go ahead and get started. And anybody else can just join us or watch the replay. So we are going to start with a card that was inspired by a card I saw at Creativity Now, which is a demonstrator only event, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator only event. And it featured a new suite that we got to pre-purchase and work with that's coming out in the September to December mini catalog. So they showed some samples with that suite, and we're not using that. But one of those was a wreath card, and that got me to thinking this morning on making this card. So we're going to go ahead and make this card. So you've already got an idea now. We're making a wreath card. Let me figure out what I did with my card holder so I can stick that up in front of me. Make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So in addition to the Poppin By bundle, we're also going to be using the Spotlight on Nature dies. And specifically, we're going to cut a piece of basic white with this stitched radiating die circle. Okay, so that is the second to the largest of the 3 radiating circles. Okay, so as I told you, I've already cut that in basic white. We're also using the 25 to 2027 in color 6x6 designer series papers. I really like these patterns, specifically this splatter pattern and this stripy pattern, because man, you can use those for anything. On the back side of that is a leaf pattern, and on the back side of this one is florals. These are my favorites right here. Okay, and we're going to be using the splatter background pattern in Strawberry Slush tonight. So we have a card base in basic black, and this is a half sheet, but it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11. I've pre-scored it at 5 1/2 and 6 3/4. And this is going to be our fun fold card. This is one of my favorite easy fun fold cards because it takes little to no effort to make it look great. Okay, so we fold this one like normal, and then this one we're going to fold back. Okay, and eventually we're going to put some adhesive in there and close that up, and we call this a book fold. Okay, so we've got that, and we need our piece of designer series paper. So I've cut a piece that is 4 inches by 4 inches, and we can go ahead and adhere that to our card and get that done. I'm going to do this like this. I don't know why. I just am. I just like the way that looks better. I don't know why. Okay, so we're just going to put that down, and then we're going to add this piece right along this base right here. So this is a 1 inch by 4 inch piece. So 1 by 4 and 4 by 4. And let's go ahead and bring in some twine. So I'm bringing in 2 twine packs, Baker's Twine. We've got the Baker's Twine Essential Pack, and I have the Twine Pack Your Bags Twine 3-pack. This is part of a suite. So this is on the buy one, get one BOGO sale, get one half off BOGO sale. I'm going to use Strawberry Slush. And I'm going to take basic black. Okay. And I'm going to take this and see how much I need to make a bow. I should have measured when I did my pre-thing. I think that's going to be plenty. Yep, that'll be plenty. Let's go ahead and give that a trim. And then I'll just pull this out and measure my Strawberry Slush the same length. And we'll set that aside. Get those out of the way. Put them together. And then I'm going to tie these together on the card here. So we're just going to give this a little bow treatment here. And the secret with baker's twine to make a nice bow is not to twist the baker's twine as you're tying it. And then it'll lay relatively flat for you. Okay, so we've got that. And that looks good to me. Now I can take and open this up and add some glue in here. And seal that down. Okay, so I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go on both sides of that ribbon and give that a good press so that that adheres nicely. Whoop. Come back here, black bow. It decided it wanted to run away. It wanted to make its own decision on how big it wanted to be. Okay, so now when we open this, that should be sealed. And it is, so we're good. Okay, there we go. There is the basis of our card at this point. You could use anything you have in your stash and decorate that up. Okay, Cynthia, thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. I'm wondering where you're from, Cynthia. Welcome to our channel. It's nice to see you here. Okay, so we've got that now. Let's get some stamping done. We've got a lot of pieces that need to be stamped and die cut, and fortunately I've done most of them ahead of time, but we are going to stamp all of our little popcorns and die cut those out. Oh, you guys, that fell down. Sorry about that. Hope that didn't hit the camera. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my Stamparatus, and yes, this is a retired product, but I'm still using it. And we are going to, I've got a sticky mat here. I'm going to take all of my little popcorn pieces, and I'm going to lay these down on a piece of Daffodil Delight. This is the Daffodil Delight two-tone cardstock, and I have this on the light side, okay? And then we're going to put this popcorn piece, and I don't really need all of this popcorn piece, so it doesn't matter. I really just need the top of the popcorn. So we're going to go ahead and close up our door here. And then we're going to take some Daffodil Delight ink. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm not going to ink up the whole popcorn because I don't need it. The bucket, I just need the top of it. Let's get those nice and inky. And then we're just going to stamp those down. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit further down on my bucket. I don't need the whole thing, but I do need a reference. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, there we go. Good enough. Okay, so now we can take and give those a quick little clean with our chamois cloth. And I'm using the chamois cloth from my Glass Mat Studio right here. This comes with a chamois cloth. 4 times bigger than this. I cut mine into quarters. Okay, and then we'll just set this aside. Okay. And we'll take this off our sticky mat. I'm so happy that you decided to join us, Cynthia. From North Dakota, that's pretty awesome. I hope you're having some good weather and not snow. I saw some parts of the north were having some snow. Let's go ahead and we're going to cut these out. I did not pre-die cut these because I wanted to show you the double duty that these dies do. Okay, so if you take these dies like I have them set here, you take 2 of these dies like this, and then I like to lay these down flat on my desk, hold them together, put a piece of washi tape or something there, and then run those through, and then you get popcorn like this. Okay? Or you can use them independently of each other, and this will cut out our little popcorn with the faces. Now, you could, if you wish, cut these over the top of your stamped images, but I was not fond of the way those looked. So I did not do that. Then I'm just gonna line these up. And if you can see, I've put little black dots with my Sharpie marker that show me where the top of my popcorn is, so it makes it easier for me to line them up because I was having difficulty figuring it out. And I don't like to sit and waste time turning. So I didn't grab that piece of washi. Let me grab this one. Let me grab a new one. I should have just taken it off that other die, but I didn't pull it off. So I think it's just as fast to do this. So we'll line that up and take that down. And then we need our popcorn. So we're just going to die cut this like this. And we'll get another piece of washi tape for that. Not sure this one's going to work, but we are going to try it. Okay, so then we'll take that and run it through our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All of the dies in this set will fit in the mini. So I'm just going to cut all of these at once. With my mini machine. And then we're going to start assembling, because I did pre-die cut quite a bit. This one takes a lot of pieces, but trust me, it is worth it. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Oh, we have one more thing to do. We need to stamp our sentiment. So let's find my pack of supplies here. And we have our, this is the middle radiating stitch circle from the Spotlight on Nature dies. And I'm going to take the sentiment that says poppin' in to say hello. Okay, and I'm going to start by, this is not going to fit on here. Well, it would fit, but it's not going to fit our purposes. So we're going to start by masking off the first little bit there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my tuxedo black ink, and I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to hope I don't rock it, because otherwise we're going to have, you know what, we're not even going to take a chance. I haven't been doing very good on the rocking thing. And the most important part is to remove that washi tape before you snap. Okay, so we've got that off. Now we don't have to worry about that. Let's pull this washi tape right off of there. And then we're just going to take this, kind of center it up a little bit, maybe a little bit above center. Remember, I'm only stamping to say hello right now. So straight down and straight up. Okay, then we're going to clean that off real fast. And I'm going to dry that. And then we're going to take another piece of washi tape and we're going to mask that off again. Bring in our Tuxedo Memento black again. Ink that up. Did a much better job not getting a bunch around the outside that time. And of course we have to remove our masking. Throw that right in the trash. And then I'm going to center this over to say hello. Straight down, let it sit, and straight up. So now our sentiment is ready to go. And we're ready to add this to our card. So let's go ahead, take some Stampin' Seal. And let's see what, whoops. Oh, thank you, Cynthia, for sharing your video. That is so awesome. Hi, Lynette. Okay, so we're going to put this right in the center here. Well, maybe a little bit up again. Maybe just a little bit up. I'm going to just lay this down for a second, and I'm not going to press it. Okay? And we need our little yellow popcorn here. I'm not sure why I did that like I did. I needed that on white, not yellow. We're going to have to redo that little popcorn because it's not going to work the way it is. It's going to look silly. Hang on just a second. But we're going to go ahead and, yep, we can actually bring this down a bit. It's all going to be okay. I don't know why I was thinking I needed to do that in Daffodil Delight. But I was, and I shouldn't have been. Okay, so let's take our little, let's grab a piece of white. Sorry about that, you guys. And let's grab that popcorn. And I cleaned that, so we should be good. And take Daffodil Delight again. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to save myself a little bit of time. I'm not going, you can run that through the die cut. I'm not going to. I'm going to cheat. I don't mind fussy cutting, so I'm going to take and cut this off just above the eyeballs. And then I'm going to curve this in a bit. And I just want the popcorn really, but I need a little bit of stability on the back. So I'm going to fussy cut this around our popcorn kernels here. But you, by all means, go ahead and use the die. Okay, so this is really all I need. And then I'm going to take this. I've already pre-stamped in strawberry slush, and I wanted my strawberry slush to be a little bit darker, so I used my Stamparatus and stamped this more than once to get a nice dark coating of strawberry slush. And now I'm just going to fussy cut around the top of my bucket here and cut off the strawberry slush popcorn because that's not what I want. I want popcorn that looks like popcorn. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal and I'm going to add my bucket to the top of my popcorn there over the bucket part. And now I have a strawberry slush bucket with yellow popcorn. Okay. All right. So this we're going to do some more things with before we put it on. And I'm going to bring in all my little popcorn pieces. Now, when I cut my popcorn, I cut on the two-tone Daffodil Delight. I cut half in on the dark side and half on the light side. And I've got them separated so I know which is which. Okay. Then out of basic black, I cut the little glasses. These all come with that die set. And then in strawberry slush, I cut me some sneakers. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add those things to our little popcorn bucket guy here. Let's move these up. Before we do that, though, I'm going to take my glasses and we're going to add, I know, shocker, I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to the outside of my glasses because why not add Wink of Stella to everything? Okay, so I'm going to set that aside to dry for just 1 second while I put his sneakers on. So in order to put his sneakers on, I'm going to take a little tiny bit of liquid glue and I'm going to put it right down at the bottom, just below his feet there. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and I'm going to just add that. Press it down for just a minute. Scooch it so that it looks like that leg is in the middle of his foot. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. Give that just a second to grab. Okay. And then we're going to take our flashy little glasses here. Add a little bit of more liquid glue right there in the center of the eyeglasses. And we're going to add that to our bucket like that. And isn't he just the cutest little popcorn bucket? Man, it would be so cool to have those at the theater, looking just like that. Okay, now let's turn that over and let's get some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put a Stampin' Dimensional top and bottom in the center. I'm going to grab those three popcorns that we stamped, and I'm going to put a dimensional in the center of those. Make sure that one's right side up. I want to make sure that gets in the center because of the way we're going to put this card together. So the sneakers are actually Shy Shamrock. They are not Summer Splash. I thought about Summer Splash, but I didn't do it. Okay, So we're going to take our little guys here, and we're going to put that like that. Put this one over here like so. This guy at the top. And then we'll put our popcorn bucket at the bottom. Just like that. And we made plenty of room. So we're going to do that. Now, we're going to take and start gluing on our popcorns. I'm not going to press anything down. I'm just going to stick it in here. And I'm going to alternate between my lights and my darks and the different popcorns. I've got 3 different popcorn shapes. So I'm going to alternate between them. Okay. And then we need a dark again. This one, let's set him aside. We need a dark. Gonna go like that, and this is the same shape as that guy, so I don't want that one for dark. I'm trying to alternate my shapes. So stick this in here like so, and then I need a light, so I should be able to go with this one over here. Okay. I just rolled that on my silicone mat because that's how to get that started again if it doesn't want to roll for you. We'll put that down there. And let's go with this one over here. Stick that one in, kind of like that. And then we're going to need a light one. Okay, we'll roll this one in here. I think that's the same shape as the other one. Hang on. That's not going to work. They start to look too similar for me. So we're just going to put that like that. And then we're going to need a dark one, but we don't want that one. Now we can use this. Nope, that's a light one. So let's go ahead and stick this light one right here. It already has glue on it. And then we're going to take this one right here. I cut more than I needed so that I could. Oh, we need a dark one. That's what we need. We've got light, and we need dark. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, there we go. That's going to fit in better that way. All right. So there is the front of our card. Just like that. Not too difficult. Okay, and then for the inside of our card, I stamped in full strength one of my popcorns, and then I stamped off the 2 in the top so that I would have plenty of room to write my message. And we're just going to set this in here. This is a 4 by 4 inch square piece of basic white. And then we stamped a little popcorn guy on our envelope. Okay, so that is card number 1. Let's get these things off my desk and on the silicone mat. And excuse me, let's move to card number 2. Okay, so let's put these things away. And we'll bring in the supplies for card number 2. Okay. I've done quite a bit of the stuff for this card. Again, it's a popcorn card. And In addition to the Poppin By set, I'm using the Pocket Thoughts dies. These are on the last chance. They started out at $34. They're now $18.30 while supplies last. I cut this middle die in both basic black and basic white. And I've already done that to save us some time. Okay. And then we've got the fancy borders. And what I've done with that, I'm going to show you how I did this. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'm going to show you how I did it. With the fancy border dies, I took this border die here. I took a basic A2 card, 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the center. I took my die and I laid it evenly. I tried to evenly space it top to bottom, and I ran it through the die cut machine this direction. Okay, now this die is almost as wide as the opening, so you want to be sure to tape this down and then be very careful when you run it through your machine. Okay, because you don't want it to scrape the sides of the machine. So that was step one. And I had this piece left over. This is the piece that was cut off. Okay, so then I took a piece of basic white quarter sheet, 4.25 by 5.5. I laid down on my quarter sheet, I laid down my piece that I cut off, and then I carefully laid this down like so, and lined that up, and then tape it down both sides, and then run it through your die cut machine. And this one you can run through this direction, and you don't have to worry about the die. Okay? Are you with me so far? Oh, that is so funny. Thanks, Laura. It's popping cute. I'm loving the two tones cardstock. It really works great when you want different tones. We haven't had that in the past, and I really, really like it. Okay, so now I've got a piece that is, this is still 4.25 by 5.5, and I want this to layer, but I want it to be a layer, a regular size layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in at 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to lay my little scallop right there at the 4-inch mark, and I'm going to give that a cut. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one and put it at 5 3/8 and flip it 180 degrees and put it at 5 1/4. And then when I finish, I'll have a 4-inch by 5 1/4 inch piece that will perfectly match into the side of my card, just like that. Okay, it's a few steps to make it do that, but I really wanted it to line up just so. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. I'm glad you like that tip. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add this now. I don't need to do anything else to this. I wanted to make that layer. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Anybody who knows me knows that. And I just wanted it to line up perfectly. So that was how I came up to do it easily. Okay, so now we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and add this in. And I thought that was rather striking that way. Okay, so then we're going to take from the Around It All dies. I've cut the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th and 6th to the smallest. I cut the sixth from the smallest. Actually, I think this is right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this one's right because there's 12 dies. So it's 6 no matter how you do it. Okay, so I've cut this in basic black and I've cut the next one down in basic white. So we've got those. I pre-did that so you didn't have to watch. Okay, so let's pull those pieces out that I told you I die cut already. So there's our Pocket Thoughts dies. Here's our Around It All dies. And now we need, oh, I was not supposed to put that on yet. So now we're going to have to do this a little funky. Oops, we're supposed to stamp on this before we put it on. Not that it'll matter because we have black behind it, but we're going to take our Daffodil Delight. I got a little ahead of myself there. And I'm just going to do this. And we're going to take our little popcorns, all 3 of them. Ooh, man, you're not supposed to do that. I've done that twice today. Okay. So now I've got all of these. And I am going to randomly stamp my little peoples here, my little popcorn peeps. Okay, let's get our other little guy. And our other little guy here. And we don't care what directions they go. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Just a little random stamping of our popcorn peeps. And then again, I pre-cut and stamped in real, I did Real Red and Daffodil Delight, and I showed you how I put these together earlier. So I'm going to do that same thing again. I'm going to cut off the Real Red top, fussy cut it off. Okay. And then I'm going to snip off my guy. Whoops. And I've got a little extra white here that I don't want this to stick out. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that down. And then we're going to add this again. On top of our popcorn piece. This is the easiest way to do it. When I first did this, I tried masking and stamping, and it's a whole lot more work than doing it this way. Trust me. Okay, so now what we have for pieces here, I die cut from the die set. I die cut the frame piece in both basic black and white. Now, when you do your white, I suggest you grab yourself a piece of scrap paper. Take the word enjoy, stamp that down, then line your die up like so. Okay, give that a little bit of washi tape, run it through, die cut it, and when that cuts, it cuts out the center. So then you'll have your enjoy that will fit inside your little movie piece there. Okay, and then in Blueberry Bushel, I cut the glasses again, and then I cut them a second time with basic black. This is still in the die, and while it was in the die, if yours doesn't stay in the die, that's okay. But what mine did stay in the die. So while it's in the die, I put Wink Castella on those little lenses, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glasses and we'll put my lenses in my glasses. Okay. And then I've got some black little sneakers to dress up my little bucket. So let's go ahead and put our shoes on. I'm going to put our little sneakers on. You guys, I mean, he doesn't have to have sneakers, but he's so stinking cute with the sneakers that I just can't stop. So when you make your card, you choose if you want him to have sneakers or not. I think I just did that on the wrong side. Poo. Poo poo. I just glued the wrong side down, you guys. We're going to fix that. It'll be okay. That's what we have adhesive erasers for. Okay, we'll put that down. And then we're going to put this one down the right way. But we're going to need an extra little bit of glue. I didn't pay close enough attention. And nobody would probably notice, but it's okay. It is what it is. We're going to put that down. Then I'm going to glue my glasses on my bucket. That on like that. And this guy, he's going to a 3D movie. So he has to have 3D glasses. So we're going to take and pop these black lenses out. And now I have an extra pair of glasses. I'm going to take those, oh man, wait, there it is. Okay. I'm going to take these, and they do fit in a particular lens, so try to get them back in the ones they came out of. Okay, that looks good to me. I think that's where, maybe not. That one's a little bit, maybe it does go in that other side. I should have been a little more careful popping those out. Okay, that looks right. There we go. That's a perfect fit. So now I'm just going to put a dot of glue here. Make sure I have the right side up because I've already Wink Castella'd it. Slide that right into the lens where it's supposed to go. We'll pick this one up. So take your pick tool, put in another little dot of glue on that side. Take your pick tool and slide that right in. And now we've got our 3D popcorn bucket guy. And the front of this, it just needs assembled. Okay, so we're going to take the black. We have one more thing to do. We have to stamp our sentiment. So I've got a piece of basic white here, and this is cut at 1 by 1.5. And I'm going to take No One's Better Than You. And stamp that in basic black. Now, you might want to stamp this and then cut it, but I want to make sure this is going to fit right in my space. So No One's Better Than You. And this again is 1 inch by 1.5. And then I have a piece of basic black that is 1/8 of an inch bigger, so 1 5/8 by 1 1/8. And we're going to stick this and this together. And that will be our sentiment piece. Okay, so this is going to go over here. I'm going to put this like this. So that placing looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and I love these all-around dies. I wish they were not retiring. Just set that right there. And then we're going to put some Stampin' Seal on that. Again, I'm going to put that about right there. This is going to go here. And our little guy is going to go here, but we're going to pop him up. Okay, so let's get our Stampin' Dimensionals 3D. Oh. Are they 2380? I was thinking they were less than that, Tracy. I was thinking 1830, but of course I could be wrong. Okay, so we're just going to put that down with our Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to take this because I'm going over 2 pieces of cardstock here. I'm going to take my glue dots and I'm going to put 1 and double it up, and 2, and that did not stick, so, and double it up, and then we'll just put some Stampin' Seal on that side, and there we go. And the double glue dot will make up for those 2 levels of cardstock. Okay, so the last part to the front of our card is to add some antique pearls. I kind of thought the antique pearls looked a little bit like popcorn color. So that's what we're going to use. And we're going to take these. And these come in 3 sizes. So put one small, 1 medium, and 1 large. Okay? And then I'm going to go back and give those a press with the cap of my Take Your Pick tool. And that is the front of our card. Now let's go ahead and finish the inside. We need a piece of basic white, which I did not cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So let me do that super quick. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And we're just going to add this to the inside of the card as is. Okay. Just like that. And you're going to see just a bare little bit when you have that in there. Okay. And then we're going to take the Pocket Thoughts dies in the basic black. We're going to fold on all those score lines. Okay, and this is going to form the basis of our pocket. And we're going to add this in here. Okay, now what are we going to do with this? We're going to take and trim this down. So this piece is 2 3/8. by 3 and 5/16. Okay, so we're going to take this at, what did I say, 2 3/8? Yep, 2 3/8. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off those score lines because I don't need those and they're going to mess me up. So let's get rid of those. Cutting right down that score. Okay, so this should be 2 3/8 now. And I'm just going to take and move this in a 16th. And slice that off. Flip it upside down. Move it another 16th. 2 3/8, which will make it 2 1/4, right? Okay. And then I'm going to slice off there. Okay. At the bottom. And then this should fit on here perfectly. Okay. And I have my little dot thing here. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and add this. I don't think I'm stamping anything on that. Nope, I am not. So I can just add this to the top of my pocket here. Like so. Now let's go ahead and put our pocket on. Put a little bit of, I'm going to use liquid glue. Well, no, let's use the tear and tape. It'll work, I think. I'm thinking the tear and tape is just the right width. If I remember correctly, man, I can't hardly see on that black. I'm going to put this right along the score line. Okay, so I've got that. Now, let's go ahead and burnish that down. Take your pick tool, remove those backing pieces. Anything that's sticking out, just flick it back over onto itself. Okay. Then we're going to take this, I'm going to put this in the center of our card, like so. I'm going to put it a little high of center, actually, so that I can sign down below. Okay, and then I'm just going to lay that down. All right, now this pocket is sized perfectly to fit a gift card. Okay, so not only do you have a card, but you have a gift. So that's that. All right, so to finish this off, then we're going to take a couple of the little popcorns. Here, I've got some already pre-cut in my little package. When I have extras, I just pre-cut them and throw them in one of our medium envelopes and put them inside. So I've got a couple of little guys here. Okay, let's see who we've got. So let's take this guy and put him down here. And then we'll put one of these guys up here. And we'll put enjoy about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these down flat. I have plenty of dimension already. So I'm just going to stick this in here like so. Stick this guy on here. And then I'm going to put this down with some liquid glue. And I'm just going to dot between the holes, just a teeny tiny little dot. A little dot on the end. Now you could use the adhesive sheets for this, but I did not. And I'm just going to stick this right here, like that. Well, I am if it's going to stay. Okay, let's do this. And then I'll get even pressure all around and it will stick. Okay, there we go. Now I want this to stick up just a tiny little bit. So I'm going back to those glue dots. And I'm going to double those up. One on each end. I love doubling up glue dots because it gives me just a tiny bit of dimension without being too much. And then I'm just going to set that right in the middle of the film strip. And there is our popcorn gift card. Okay, so for this card, my envelope has the little popcorn. And this is one of those that I masked off. So a little bit more challenging that way, but it works. All right. Oh, the pocket dies are 1860. Thanks, Tracy. Pocket Thoughts dies. Thanks, Cynthia Doan. Isn't it adorable? Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's bring back in our first card. Put those in here. You can see the projects that we've made today with the Poppin By bundle. This is an online exclusive. You won't find it in any publication. So you'll have to look online if you want the bundle number. That is 165489. All right. Thanks, everybody. I plan to be back here on Facebook again next Tuesday night at 7. Appreciate you commenting, sharing, and liking. That really helps my channel. And welcome, Cynthia Howard. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, everybody. See you again next week. Until then, happy stamping. Good night.